Whew. This piece here, well, it's a real piece of work. Everything really is bigger in Texas, that's for sure. I've got this beat up entryway table, but it is so full of potential and we're about to give it a glow up. Today, I am checking out designs that are forecasted for 2025. I'm gonna blend a little bit of style and functionality in there, and we're not just going for trendy, but I wanna make it timeless. So let's start flipping. Okay, so to get this thing nice and clean, we're gonna start with a bucket of hot water and then I'll add some Simple Green in there. Simple Green is just a really good degreaser. It's gonna cut through any like dirt, grime, grease, fingerprints. I really like it for pieces like this that you can tell have been well loved. Usually they have a lot of furniture polish or pledge on top of them, and the Simple Green is gonna cut through that. You've gotta remove it before you can start refinishing projects, so we need to do that first. This is a Bernhardt entryway table, which means it was probably really valuable in its day. It's been well loved. We'll leave it at that. I picked this guy up off Facebook Marketplace. I paid $50 for it. It was quite the struggle getting it out to the truck. It took 3 of us to get it loaded. That's how heavy this is. And just for an example, I am almost 5'10", and you can see where this comes up to me. This thing is huge. It is massive. It's definitely made for a Texas entryway. We have some quite stately entryways around here, and that's who I'm going to refinish this for and hopefully sell this to, is somebody that's got an entryway like that. So that's my goal with today's flip, is that we are going to make this just super high-end, super appealing for somebody who has a really stately type of home. There's plenty of them in Dallas. I'm sure I'll find my market. Let's clean this. After hours of working on my latest project, it's not just my creativity that gets tested, you guys. Keeping fresh can be a challenge too, and that's why I'm so glad I discovered Lumi. Lumi has been my go-to for a few months now, and I'm so excited to share it with you guys. Lumi was invented by an OBGYN, Dr. Shannon Klingman, and let me tell you, this is a game changer. It's clinically proven to block body odor all day long, and it continues to control it for 72 hours. Yes, I said 72 hours. It's a whole body deodorant that goes beyond just armpits. Lumi is skin safe, baking soda free, cruelty free, vegan, pH optimized, and paraben free, so it's safe for me and my 2 teenagers. It comes in 8 different scents, plus it doesn't stain your clothes. And their solid stick, it's smooth, invisible, and just as effective. My favorite scents right now are the toasted coconut and the soft powder. The 360-degree spray is another standout. With eco-friendly recyclable canister, low irritation formula, it's easy to use and perfect for those hard-to-reach areas. Lumi's starter pack bundle is a great deal for new customers. It comes with a full-size stick of deodorant, a cream deodorant tube or spray deodorant, 2 free products like the wipes or a mini body wash, free US shipping, and just for my followers, Lumi is offering an extra $5 off when you click the link in my description below and enter the code LEMONS at checkout. Seriously, if you want to stop odor before it starts, Lumi's got your back and everywhere else. Give it a try, you're gonna thank me later. Be sure to check out that link below, you guys, and thank you so much for Lumi sponsoring today's video. It's clean. Let's get this flipped over and fix the leg. This thing's really heavy. This foot right here that came off, it looks like somebody's already tried to fix this with some wood glue. There's a lot of wood glue on this. There's a lot of wood glue on the area where it is attached to, even though the bolt that's in there still works and it seems pretty sturdy. Obviously, this has been an issue. So I've got a few of these dowels that I'm gonna try to reinforce in the bottom of this foot and into this. I'll show you guys how we're gonna do that. Hopefully it fixes the problem, and it should be pretty sturdy after that. I think one of the main problems is that it is a very heavy table, and I think that this is just not withstanding the weight very well. So let's see if we can fix that issue. This way. I'm gonna dip the little ends of the dowel rods into some black paint. In theory, this works in my head, so let's see if this really works. And then I'll touch it to this, so then we know exactly where those dowel holes need to be made. To remove the finish on this piece, I'm going to use a product that's new to me, and that is this QCS strip well. It is a furniture finish remover, and it is non-toxic, biodegradable. It's safe for indoor use. I used this on my last project and it worked really well, so I'm excited to try it again on this bigger entryway table. So we're gonna apply this. It comes in this spray bottle, which is really easy to use, so apply a really good coat on here, and it says not to let it dry. So I'm gonna put some plastic wrap on the top of it, and it needs to stay wet for at least 30 minutes. They do recommend that you apply at least 2 layers of this. So I'm gonna put it on, let it sit for 30 minutes, come back out, put another coat on, let that sit for 30 minutes, and then hopefully I have very little work to do getting it off of the surface. So let's see what happens. All right, so this is sat for about 2.5 hours. I came out about 30 minutes later, put on a second application, let it sit for about an hour. Football game's on, so priorities. So now I'm ready to get the top, the finish off of this. Let's see how well this stuff works. Okay, so what I did is let the finish remover work overnight. I put a really good coat of this on and then wrapped it in the plastic wrap, let it do its job overnight, took the plastic wrap off and then applied another coat, waited just a few minutes, and then took a scrub brush to it because these little curves are a little trickier. So that removed some of the finish, and then I went in with a little more detailed brush and removed even more. And then the next step that I've learned is you're gonna take some steel wool, put a little bit of that finish remover on there. And when you start to work that in, that's when this will really start to come off of here. And it really doesn't take a lot of elbow grease because you've let the finish remover do its job overnight, which is pretty cool. This is like, I'd say it's more of like a medium level project, not beginner friendly, but the truth is like there's nothing hard about putting on that finish remover, wrapping it up, letting it sit overnight. This is sort of like eating the elephant. I've said this in a few of my projects. I've given myself probably 3 or 4 days to do this because I'm not a huge fan of like hand sanding or like having to scrub this much detail in a short amount of time. So like day 1, I did the top in this top piece. Day 2, I'm working on the legs. And then I will work on the bottom feet and this tray at the bottom, probably day 3. And then day 4, I can come out, sand the whole thing because there won't be a whole lot to sand. And then we'll go into design from there. Don't get intimidated by the vastness of this project. You really can do this. It's not difficult. It's just some finish remover and a little steel wool and a few brushes, and this stuff's coming right off. So be patient with it and it'll work. To get into all the details on the legs here, I'm gonna use my Surf Prep. It's got a little squishy foam abrasive on there, so it's gonna get in between these lines. I don't have very much sanding to do. You can kind of see the difference between the two. This one I still need to do. This one has been done. Just gonna remove a little bit of that extra finish that's on there, but there's not much to take off at this point. Let's get this off of here. Look how big this is, you guys. I mean, this is way over my head sitting on the floor. I still can't believe how large this entryway table is. It's really cool in person. For the top of this, I'm gonna use my Surf Prep orbital sander. You can use any orbital sander. I just happen to have this one hooked up to the vacuum. I've got a 220 grit on the Surf Prep and I'm gonna go over the top. Normally I would do a 180 grit, but I really like some of the dents and dings that are on this. It's kind of holding on to some of that old finish. It makes it look really rustic, so I don't want to remove all of that. I want it to keep some of that character. This still has some of the nicks and scratches in the front from the previous owner. And again, it just adds to that rusticness. It's really in style right now. So I don't want to erase those. I want to keep that and sort of add to that originality of this piece. Okay, so when I am looking for design ideas, this is the very first thing that I do. I'll take the piece of furniture that I'm working on. So for instance, today we've got an entryway table or a console table. I put in entryway table into Google, and entryway table pulls up on Google. The first 3 things across the top are storage, decorating, and rustic. So that tells me that one of the main things that's in for this coming season or people are searching for is a rustic style. It also, if I keep going across the list, some other types of designs that it brings up are modern and mid-century. So those are the other 2 that are at the top, but further down the list from rustic. So that gives me an idea of where to go with my design. So, and the other thing that I don't see on here is farmhouse. So that's not showing up anymore. And then as I scroll down this page, the other thing that I notice is everything is fairly dark. It's still wood, rustic, not a lot of painted, but darker wood tones. So I'm no longer seeing anything white or chippy, and things are darker with the wood grain showing a lot of just wood grain throughout. And the other thing that is missing is that washed or bleached sort of look. That is not showing up anymore either. So when I start to design, those are sort of the ways that I'm gonna go. So I'm gonna eliminate anything farmhouse. I'm going to eliminate the bleached wood look, and I'm gonna go for rustic and something in a darker tone. That should guarantee me something that's gonna sell really well in my area, because Google is telling me what people are searching for. I came out late last night, wiped everything down. I took some mineral spirits and wiped this down as well. That's also a really good way to look at it and be like, if I was to seal this right now, what would this look like? Is when you wipe it with mineral spirits, it'll show you what color it's gonna be at the end. I'm going for a little more of that rustic vibe like we saw on the Google search that I did. So I think I'm gonna use a gel stain today to just darken this up a little bit. I want a little more of those orange tones to be toned down. I don't want this really orangey, because this is quite the statement piece that we have here. So let's see if we can kick this up just a little bit and tone down some yellow, get out some of these lighter tones that are kind of going out of style, and see where we go from there. So for this project, I've chosen Lily Moon's gel stain in the color Mudslide. It is a really sort of light brown, chocolatey brown, and a gel stain is a lot more forgiving than just a regular stain. It's going to help blend in some of the imperfections on the top. A gel stain really sits on the top, as far as sitting on the top versus penetrating into the surface. So when you want just a lighter feel, it won't show as much grain as the stain will. And it's just gonna help take out some of that orange like we said before. So what I'll need for this is a misting bottle. You want your surface to be damp when you apply this. Some sort of foam brush or sponge to put it on with. I got out my bigger one because I have such a wide surface to cover with this. And then I've got a few lint-free rags hanging around too, because as soon as I put this on, I'll let it sit for just a few minutes and then I'll wipe back all of the extra. So this is the perfect shot now that the top has been done, the top versus the bottom. And you can just see it adds a warmth and a little bit of depth to it that it didn't have before, which I think will be really great for the current styles that are in people's homes. Let's keep going. these larger knobs from Hobby Lobby. Thought they'd look a little more stately on this piece since it's so big. So let's get these on, and I'm not quite sure if this was the right choice, but it's kind of the only thing I saw that would match this. So let's put these on and see what we think. And there you have it, a stunning transformation that combines timeless elegance with the up and coming trends of 2025. This once worn entryway table now has a whole new life, proving that a little bit of creativity can go a long way on a piece of furniture. This guy was already a showstopper, he just needed a little bit of a refresh. I'm gonna sell this one over on Etsy because I think I'm gonna get more around my asking price for this. I've attached my Etsy page down below in the description if you're interested in checking that out. If you enjoyed watching this makeover and you want to see more of this, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. It really helps out. Let me know in the comments which design trend for 2025 you're most excited about, or if there's something in particular you'd like to see me flip this upcoming year. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to join me next time as we turn more lemons into lemonade.